Hey, Chelsea, I want to show you something. I want to talk to you
Kiki,
about.
no, not now. Don't do it.
Okay,
Don't have time for this. Don't have time for your nonsense.
fine.
Oh, but I do need to eat something to get my blood sugar up. I'm feeling a little dizzy, a little famished, a little irritable, if you couldn't tell.
I I could.
I apologize. Oh, you did not do what my brother does. So I have a younger brother, and me and him are like best friends. But when we were growing up, we were mortal enemies, believe it or not. And my brother, he is incredibly smart, and he loves like entertaining himself because he is so smart, and he realizes that people have very big reactions when he knows exactly what to say to like push people's buttons and just get a reaction out of them. Like he genuinely is like thrilled to get any sort of reaction out of anyone. So much so that like I definitely was a main target because I had such big, intense reactions. There was one time, this is probably my favorite story. We were at church, and like the fighting happened all the time, and church wasn't even like off the table. We were in like the main meeting where we were hearing the different sermons, and we were in the pews, and my brother and I don't know how we ended up sitting next to each other, because my parents were usually pretty good about us like having distance between each other, but somehow we were sitting next to each other and we were fighting so much so that we caused like a scene and we had to get separated, and it embarrassed my parents, understandably so. And so as punishment, and also because I think my parents were really like, y'all should like each other, like y'all are siblings, we're in it for to the day we die and even beyond in the afterlife type of a thing. We came home, and as punishment we had to sit on the couch and hold hands. And your parents ever do that to you, or you?
Oh, not at all. And I'm like, it's funny to think of what would have happened if they had tried to enforce that in our family, because that was definitely not something that we would have done or been okay with. So that's really funny.
Oh, I mean, luckily, like I was pretty good at compliance because I realized that if I like complied to authority, then I was able to get what I wanted later, type of a thing. So I remember like agreeing to hold his hands, but then like turning my back so I couldn't like look at him. So we just sat there. And my brother, of course, was like unfazed by the whole thing. I need to like talk to him about what he remembers about that, because it typically would play out, or at least the way that I remember it, is that he would just get like the biggest kick out of my big intense reactions, and I would just be fuming, but he would just be like, oh, whatever, like water off a duck's back type of a thing. And this would happen like at the dinner table, where I mean we didn't even sit next to each other either, but even the way that he like chewed his food was like annoying to me. And like he took a lot of the brunt of my teenage angst, but also just like irritability. And the one thing that I love about my mom is she was always such a big advocate for all of her kids. So she knew something was up. I just thought my brother was like the spawn of the devil. And his main purpose in life was to like just irritate the living crap out of me. But my mom was like, something is definitely up. Like she definitely noticed I had like major mood swings, and she knew like it was like in puberty, so she wanted to make sure that it wasn't like hormonal, or just see like what was happening. And we went to so many doctors, just like blood. I just remember blood work after blood work and just test after test. And what eventually we found out was that I was hypoglycemic, so I had low blood sugar. So a lot of that has to do, so hypoglycemia is obviously low blood sugar, and you just have to eat more frequently. You have to like prioritize like protein and fiber. At least for me, those are the things that like really help keep my blood sugar balanced, and just like eat pretty regularly. I mean, I was eating like every 2 hours type of a thing. It wasn't uh it's not as bad as like diabetes by any stretch of the imagination, but it was just, you could tell like a lot of my visceral reactions were just because I was like legitimately hangry and just had no other way to kind of express that rage. So yeah, definitely after getting some more information about what it was, how to help, and a lot of it was just eating more. I think our in our last episode you were talking a lot about how we kind of grew up at the height of like diet culture. I mean, obviously it happened in the 80s and before then, and like even in the 50s and 30s and stuff. But uh the height of diet culture for me, like the way I interpreted it was like skinny is best. And I have always just my family in general, like we are not skinny, like our bones just aren't skinny.
No, same in my family. We all have really big heads and really broad builds.
Yes, like we were made for the farm. Like we
Yeah.
were made.
Hey, I'm gonna say we were definitely farm people. We're made for hard labor, and our bodies, like genetically, are still like, yep, go
Yeah.
take that hard body plow and sit at a desk for an hour and do some. You know?
Yeah, go live a sedentary life.
Mm.
Yeah, maybe that's why we love like the proprioceptive like input. Like we need a lot of it. Just because like genetically that's just the way we were built. But I remember like thinking like I was definitely, especially in my hips, like I have large hips. Like I was always told by like family that I had like baby making hips because they're just like so big. Can't do anything about it. I'm not gonna like go chisel down some bones. That sounds incredibly painful and like why would you do that? But I just remember thinking like if I'm already big, then I probably just need to like stay slim. So I like want to eat. And then there was also two, I think this I'm actually not sure if this is like part of ADHD because my diagnosis is so new and I just would get into the flow of stuff and like forget to eat. Like
That's pretty common for ADHD. But yeah.
yeah. So that's good to hear.
Yeah. It's like if you think about it, your attention is on something else, and so it's ignoring like other input that your body's trying to give you, including hunger signals.
Okay. Yeah. I think that that basically sums up what I was doing because I would just find myself being like so immersed, especially if it was something that I really enjoyed, that I would just be like, oh, I forgot to eat. So it just never, and I love food. That's a thing. It's like I love food. I mean, our background's peanut butter because peanut butter is my favorite food. I ate so much of this Adam's natural peanut butter for growing up. But once I realized that hypoglycemia was a thing, my brother became way less annoying and he didn't get as big of a reaction. And because he didn't get as big of a reaction, he naturally just like stopped teasing me as much too.
It was
So
yeah. Yeah.
yeah, 100%. So it was good. I feel like uh that was kind of the biggest kind of experience that I can remember of how our metabolic needs definitely impact our emotions and how we show up every day. And that really how we fuel our bodies, how if we're meeting like our physical needs from like water to food to um, sleep to movement to whatever, that it really does kind of impact your ability to feel balanced and not be so aggressive in your responses.
I get it. I will say so, yeah, it sounds to me like you had very intense emotions, but you did a great job sleuthing it out. And it was because you had some metabolic needs you weren't aware of, and some mental models like don't eat because you need to stay small that
Yeah,
were not correct and also not serving you and helping you actually manage these emotions better. So
yeah,
I'm glad you had a mom who was like such a big advocate for you
same.
to the bottom of it.
Yeah.
Did you ever feel upset that she didn't have your brother get tested to make sure he wasn't, in fact, the spawn of Satan?
You know what? There's so many good stories about how my brother would, he's one of four, and so he has three sisters, and he is the third of four. So he was just so good at being a little brother.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, there's so many stories about him like being in Bible study class and like weaponizing scripture to like put girls in the class in their place, and just him, yeah. I mean, I think for him, it makes me wonder too if he has some sort of like neurodivergence.
Well, I wasn't going to say anything that since you brought it up. Um, ADHD, the strongest predictor of that is genetics.
Yeah,
And a lot of his behavior is behavior that is consistent with someone with ADHD, with which is um, when he got bored, he found a way to entertain himself and gets a quick little dopamine hit and find something rewarding and fun to do in the form of getting a reaction out of you.
yeah,
And it seems like he was really good at being able to kind of turn anything into an opportunity to get that reward, whether it were scripture or whatever ways he could get under your skin. So
yeah,
I'm not licensed to diagnose him. I don't even
yeah,
know him,
yeah.
but odds are if you have it, then he probably there's a not it's not that he probably has it, but there's a good chance that he could have it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, there were a few. I think one of my favorite brother stories, especially like this just shows the dynamic of like him and my parents too, especially my mom. He, my mom was setting a firm boundary and he didn't like it. And he was like, I'm gonna call CPS on you. And she was like, you know what? Go ahead and do it because they're gonna take you away. Like I get to stay here, but you get to go. Like they'll take you. And he just like shut up. So I think like that's like the beauty of my brother too, is like whenever someone could like outsmart him or like kind of give him a jab back, he would just be like, okay, you won. But yeah, it definitely made us a little more witty and more entertained. And also too, I mean, hypoglycemia, low blood sugar, we actually call it LBS in my family, like just low blood sugar, because once I got my diagnosis, like we realized that a lot of my family had it too. So a lot of like the tensions and like the strong reactions and like volatility. And it wasn't ever like an unsafe environment, but it just was like there's a lot of like emotions and anger and sadness and tears. But once we were able to realize like, oh, if we just like ate more like regularly and ate foods that didn't just like give you a quick sugar rush and had you crash, because when we crashed we would crash hard, but ate foods that were more nourishing and stayed in your system longer and was like not as quick to hit the blood sugar, then yeah, it was just a little bit more peaceful. Just
It's a wonder how like just something as simple as managing your blood sugar better can make a huge difference with how you can interact with your family members and show up in the world.
yeah.
So I'm glad that you figured that out. And that also sounds like it was really valuable for your whole family because
Yeah.
all your family was able to be like, oh, that's what was going on.
Yeah.
Agree. And
Yeah.
we didn't have like the metabolic bandwidth to deal with each other in a different way. So
Yeah. It's true. One other point too, and I want to say this just because when you have better data to update your mental models, it's so much easier to update them. And so going back to the my body needs to be small type of mental model that I had, the benefits and how I felt just having a balanced blood sugar like far outweighed like the hanger. I think it was like I forget her name, but I think it was Kate Moss maybe, may have said like nothing tastes as good as skinny feels, but like the whole like low blood sugar and just eating more and actually nourishing my body with food, I was like, hunger is like hell. So I just want to like actually eat food and not feel like crummy and dizzy and like irritable and just in pain all the time. So
mhm.
yeah, it helped update that and get that out of there quick.
I was gonna ask you about like where do you stand with that now? Because yeah, I mean, when it comes down to it, it's also just a good illustration that everybody's body is different and everybody's metabolic needs are different.
Yeah.
And your body's gonna look any number of ways, but the most important thing is that you like try to take care of it. So I'm glad that you were able to get to a place where you realize, actually, it's more fun for me to like not snap at someone than like, maybe fit into the same pants I wore in high school or whatever, you
Yeah,
know?
for sure. It's not worth it.
Yeah.
It's just treat your body well. You only get one. We're not
Yeah.
into cybernetics territory yet, so
Nope.
hopefully never.
At least not in our economic class.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, well, Casey, I'm
Chelsea.
gonna go get some lunch.
I wasn't gonna say anything, but
You're like the way you snapped at me at the beginning of this
it seemed
episode.
like you might too.
Yeah.
No, I think that's a good idea. I'll have to go take a snack break myself.
Oh, thanks, Casey. We'll see you next
Well,
time.
always good to talk to you. I'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.